Welcome to the George's FTTV YouTube channel. Today we'll preview round 12 by just touch on my trades, we'll go through team sheets and then targets to bring in. So it should be good. But yeah, these are my trades. So we've got the news that Roberts is sick. And this buy is a little bit nasty for me. And I figured I kind of want to upgrade him anyway. So I'm going to trade. I think you can hold though. Yeah, the timing's off. Plays Richmond this week, so it would have been nice. But I've just sideways to Cordwell. It's got a low break even. Brought in Bont, brought in Clark. So Bont and Clark, probably the two most popular trade-ins, I'm guessing, along with, Pedler. But yeah, this week, so Bont dropped the 101, paid 640 for this. It's not what we want. Thought he played fine. Had a few clangers early, and then later in the game was trying to take the game on, take a few risks. Didn't really work out, so he got hurt there. But he looked fine, played well. But should we have paid 640 in this current climate? No, but the problem was, who are you getting off the buy? I mean, if I didn't have Rosie, I would go there. Do you want a Carlton mid? Not sure I trust him. I mean, in hindsight, I kind of wish I held Chera now. But I don't think I can trade into it now that I've traded out, just as a ownership play. Yeah, really should have kept Chera. But is what it is. And yeah, like, who are you getting? Like, LDU, do you want? Like, I'm not really sure what we're going to get from LDU. I guess he's just really just playing West Coast this week. Like, would I prefer LDU or Cordwell? Well, I think it's probably LDU, but Cordwell's ceiling's higher at the moment, I think, whereas really it should be LDU, but there is a bit of a price difference there. Like, I'm just thinking, should I have just gone for like LDU, saved 150k on Bont, maybe cop 20, 25 points a week difference, maybe it's less than that, and then use that 150k to get these crap defenders up to Whitfield and Sinclair. Maybe I should have gone that route, but it was Bont, so we went there. Yeah, it was an interesting one. It was a bit of a test this week, whether you go for Bont or not. Hopefully he goes bang next few weeks, but yeah, paying this price this year, unless you're sitting very comfortable for money, which is probably not a lot of people, then yeah, it's going to be tough. But yeah. So then my trades. Quadwell makes me nervous still, just with the soft tissue history. But yeah, the numbers are there with 70% plus CBAs. I think he's like 110 plus. So if you can manage that. Also, Parrish is in. I don't know what that means. I'd like to see team sheets. If I see Setterfield, Parrish, and Cordwell together, I don't know if that'll spook me out of the trade. But this is my plan. So unfortunately, I'm not going to get Whitfield or Sinclair, which really sucks. But this is sort of conservative estimates, and a lot of it depends on a final upgrade, depends on Sheldrick. So we'll get in Nas 1 up, 1 down with Nas. The week after, I mean, ideally we get both of these plays next week, but we don't have a boost. But we'll go Brock down, get Butters. So Butters and Nas probably the two most common targets the next few weeks. So good prices for them. So we'll grab those two. We'll have 5 trades left. Sheldrick will be at M10, but we'll have an empty flex, I think. We'll have an empty F6, which means Martin will play in defense, and we'll target Horn Francis, who has a 22 in his system. So I think 200s from Horn Francis. He's 440k. So anything, yeah, if he's around that sort of mark, 450, 460, 440, that's our price range. So Nas, Butters, Horn Francis, our budget picks. I guess you can say Butters' budget pick, but 550 is kind of expensive this year. So, and then we'll finish the team. Gray getting dropped is annoying because I didn't think I'd need his money, but now that we've chosen to trade Roberts, we actually need his money. So that's annoying. So we'll finish the team on 3 trades, all going well. I wish I could get a 24th premium. It could be like a Clark and another rookie to like a Mills or something, but I think I'm just going to steer clear of Mills, and those who want to go there can. We'll just see how he goes, but I wouldn't. There's no reason to grab him now. But we'll go through team sheets pretty quickly. So yeah, Dogs and Hawks. Dogs been on fire. Hawthorn struggling, and then just kind of flipped tonight. Gardner was in instead of a few other like Liam Jones, so it was an interesting selection. Treloar did not looked like a guy who missed a lot of football. Didn't see any of the old Treloar, no acceleration, just kind of a little bit of contested ball here and there, but yeah. Johannesson to Ray just probably means more supply for Dale, which is he's annoying. No, not gonna lie. Nothing really. How much is Seamus Mitchell? I can't even remember how he went. 200k, but yeah, they got defenders coming back, so can't go there. Yeah, a bit of buyer's remorse on Bont. I think he'll put in a big one at some point, and we'll be happy. But what could we have done with that extra 150k if we went like an LDU? And I know you don't want LDU in your team, but that 150k, like there's a lot of other players I don't want in my team, so it's a hard one. So yeah, this is an interesting one. A lot of people like Luke Pedler, and I said this in the podcast, like I know Matthew Nicks, he brings in players that he never planned to bring in because of injuries, and then they just stay anyway, and it's going to happen with Brodie Smith, which is fine. Brodie Smith played good, but like the way our team always shapes up is just due to fluke and injury. It's just, I think he doesn't have a great read on the potential that he can do with some players, and because yeah, just it's total accidental ins all the time. Just makes no sense. But look, I like Bruce Smith. I hope he goes well. But what does this mean for Luke Pedler? So I'm looking at who's going to be sub here. Well, they got Berry starting on the field. I think it's Berry, Pedler, or Brodie Smith. I think it's one of those three. Now, Berry, I think they like. They're just going to give him a crack, so maybe he avoids the vest named on the field. It's Pedler or Brodie Smith here. I think it's going to be Brodie Smith, just because of the extra defender. So just keep an eye out. It could be Pedler. I'd be slightly concerned, like who's getting subbed off here. If there's no injury, it's probably Walker. It could be Berry. It could be Pedler. There's not a lot of players that can be subbed in our team, in my opinion. I really like Dan Curtin. I don't want to see him subbed at all. So I think the sub risk is there, but he's the second best option to Clark that we have. We don't really have anything else, so that's just the way it goes. So I'm not going to go there. I can see it working. I can see it potentially not working. Actually, there was a Butler played all right for the Hawks. I guessing in for Nick Watson, so I really want to wait and see. Yeah, I think Smith will be sub. It could be Pedler though. He's probably second most likely, but we'll see. Keep your eye on that. It's tough. There's really nothing we can do at the moment with trying to find rookies. So Campbell Gray omitted. This is very annoying, but at the same time, I didn't really. When I traded him in, I was like, okay, probably don't need his money, but now I probably do. So Bolter's out. Bit stiff because he played well, but yeah, I think Bolter's not on house arrest for a few weeks, so expect that to stick. But Gray won't come in for a few weeks. A few big ins for Sydney with Mills back in. Robert's sick. Interesting. Bice held. Bice is struggling. I'd be surprised if Bice isn't sub, to be honest. They brought in a few defenders. Sheldrick for us, I think it's 5% of us have Sheldrick. I think there's quite a few names here that can be sub ahead of him. Adams was worse than him. Hanley, I'm not sure. Bice was far worse than him. Maybe it's just them. So we'll see what happens with Mills, named on the wing. What's his CBAs? I think they're probably keen to get him in there. I'd be shocked if Sheldrick is sub. I think he's probably too expensive to go there, especially with the buy. So I probably wouldn't go there, but there is potential for like an 80+ average here for sure. I thought Sheldrick was better than Rowbottom, but that's me. And he did take Rowbottom CBAs, so I think he'll keep playing in the 22. I hope I'm not wrong because we need him badly. Geelong versus Cats. Good to see Paddy back. Jack Martin in. Oh, I didn't even see that when I was scrolling through. So he's 150k. I dare say high sub risk. They've been carefully managing him all year, so probably wouldn't go there. Moyle out for Reed. Yeah, a bit of an odd one playing the two rucks, but maybe it's just to give Wits, who's 32, a bit of a spell. What was I going to say here? Yeah, Tom Stewart is there if you want him. I didn't like... I thought he wasn't bad, but I didn't see him really hunt the 40. Didn't scream pick me watching him play. And I know it's Tom Stewart, but it is a 32-year-old Stewart with injuries all year. So I'm not going to go there. I think the trust in him for his body to stay fit just makes me a bit nervous. And they can, Chris Scott will manage him as soon as he gets the chance. So for me, it's a no. If I'm not against it, I'm not saying don't pick him. It's just not for me. But 420k, you could do a lot worse. Giants versus Port. So Nick Madden is in. He is, I'm guessing his base price, 119. Yeah, ruck only. So it's, you can't go there unless Briggs' timeline blows out. So that'll be one to watch. Also got the last buy as well. So Briggs will probably be back after the buy. If he shoots the lights out, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes Briggs' spot, but it's been hard to judge Briggs this year because it looks like he's been injured all year. So, what sort of... Are we getting a fully fit Briggs? Are we getting a hampered Briggs? Who knows? But I don't think you can't go there now. It's just assessed in 2 weeks and see where the injuries are at. Ward's out, unfortunate. All the best for him. I guess I was half considering Atkins if the timeline's on Sin and Farrell. I think Sin was TBC and Farrell was coming back a bit early as well, so that means spells death for Atkins, who wasn't even bad, just not really where the list doesn't really need him at the moment. They need to play guys like Sin. Vizentini helps, so if you have him, you're happy. Which is interesting. Whether he keeps playing heaps, I don't know. So, Giants versus Port. Now, where does Whitfield play? He's named on ball. I think I wouldn't read into that too much. I suspect the roles will be both. They can use him ahead of the ball. Kingsley did say it was sort of out of necessity when they had a few midfield injuries. So I guess they got Daniels in, can play that half forward role. We'll see what happens. So I wouldn't panic on Whitfield. I wouldn't mind getting him at his price because we know post buy last year was 120 plus. I'm not sure that happens this year with Ash taking so much ball and this half forward stuff at times, but I think 110 plus is very reasonable for him, and I'd like to get him. I just can't, unfortunately. It makes you wonder next year, do you just start a few top dogs, even though they could drop 50, 70, 80, 100k? It just means that you just have him, and Sinclair, you had one chance to get him, or he was 520, 540, and then he shoot it up to 570, 580. We had that one chance to get him and we didn't get him, and that can happen with Uber premiums. You have a small window to get him at times, and if you don't get him, then it's very, very hard. So look at Gawn and Sherry. You had that window. Sherry was just luck with the injury he had that he got cheap, but you had that window, you had to take it. So otherwise you're priced out for the no chance of getting Gawn. Haven't even, it's barely crossed my mind because he's that out of control. Oh, look who's back, Clay Hall. That's not good. Other Sunday teams. I know people have him, so I don't want him to play for that selfishly. But for his own career, maybe he can go alright. No Gross, is it? No. That's kind of bummed about that. Would have been nice just to maybe one fleek score. The Sunday teams are not going to read too much into it. I'm trading Flynn. I'm petrified of the 110 break even against Sherry. I cannot afford more price drops, which I already had with Bont and Philippou. Converse Essendon, Parrish is in. I'm not going to try to say that. Luau, last name, could say that. Again, extended teams. I guess a few of us have Carroll. Does Carroll hold his spots? I mean, does Fantasia play? Probably not. Does O'Keefe play? Never heard of him. Does Binns play? Not sure. So I think Carroll... I don't want Carroll to be sub because he's going to lose money. I'm going to ditch him next week. So Cooper Lord, I'm bringing him in fantasy. My fantasy team's cooked. I had 4 scores below 25, 3 of them under 10 last week. Held all the wrong rookies, brought in all the wrong rookies. Whereas in SuperCoach, I've been a bit more careful. But the role's even not that good, but he's cheap. I think he's in like priced in the equivalent, I think would be like 250 in SC. He's priced at like 550 in AF, something like that. So he is a big accumulator in juniors, so I'm hoping that he goes well, but I think a little bit too expensive for fantasy, for SuperCoach rather. So, but again, it's a bit of a throw at the stump sort of trade at this point. Could be sub and stuff. So I think he's been good this year. I liked watching him. But yeah, there's some cheap options coming. So Lloyd Meek is going to be about 450k, which is a very good price for him. Had a few bad ones. I have no idea why. I guess he got rested here. Maybe he was carrying something. I have no idea what's going on with these bad scores. One of them was got destroyed against Gorn. Next two kind of suck. Rob gets a lot of hit outs, and of course Sherry. But after that, you've got Freo, not restrictive. Rowan, not restrictive. Whatever, Ruckman, Porter running. TDK, not restrictive. And there's a Gorn and a Rob in there. But I think the run after that, the next 4, is pretty damn good. So the timing's a little bit off to get Meek. But at that price, even if you cop a bad one with a bad fixture, the whole idea is you just try and get rookie off and finish your team. So I don't mind that. But you will look at 560, 550 under. Whitfield, like, it's a little bit hard to go there. Merritt's there, 546. I think that's a good price for him, no matter the role. Dunkley, I'm an owner. I probably wouldn't. Too many points to go around. When one of them face, sometimes the other, someone can famine, and unfortunately it was Dunkley last week, but it was off a 5-day break. But I think he off the bye. Like, if he was off his bye, I think it's fine. But yeah. Actually, one thing I wanted to touch on is, can you pick players that are going to have their bye? Ideally not. However, you got to remember, we're going to carry these players for another 12 weeks. 12, I think. Yeah, 12 weeks. That's ridiculous. There's so much time to go. So if you're just picking players because they're coming off their bye, and a part of that was the lack of options, I thought, coming off the bye, that I wanted in my final team. Because, yeah, anyone we're not missing that's going to be best in line, we kind of want if we can afford them. But I'm okay grabbing someone that has a buy. Just because if that's the premium you really, really want, or that at a price like a Cordwell, I don't really, really want Cordwell, about 440k for what he can do. I'm going there. But yeah, the point is, I think it's okay because if that's the premium you want, and you don't want the player, you don't want to pick a player just because of the buys. Like, you want that certain player. I'm completely fine with it. Like, I'm fine grabbing Whitfield this week. Ideally, maybe he's 130 break even. You wait, but you got to wait till his last buy, which is ages away. And of course, check your buys. Make sure you're comfortable with that buy. So you wouldn't want to bring him in to get a donut. So that's that. Darcy Cameron 530. That's not the worst. Been really good this year. Taking a stack of intercepts against Gorn. I mean, and then he has a buy into Rowan and West Coast. I didn't even think about grabbing him, to be honest, but this is kind of tempting. Has he played West Coast yet? No. So Gorn is a tough matchup, 130 break even. Then this fixture is really nice. It's Gorn again later, but it's ages away. So I think he'd be a good flex one for 500k. Say he scores 80, he'd be like 510k. Nick is a great target. I guess you could probably wait 1 week because he has the buy. He's about to have it. I wouldn't worry. He scored 180 against Melbourne last year. I think that game was sort of just no pressure. It's like Melbourne wanted the season to end. Nass is the one you want to grab. Nass next week. Dale, if you grabbed him, you'd be happy with. Obviously, he's got a really nice run at Marvel. for the rest of the season. And not only that, Johannessen's injured. Not sure how long, but that probably helps him because there's no one really rebounding from the Dogs except for Dale. So it looks like he's going to be top 8, so top 6. Sarong I would be comfortable grabbing. Rosie I'd be very happy grabbing. I wish I had bloody Chero because he can do 110. He's done it before. If you traded, I wouldn't go there though. Holmes probably good in, really nice run. So there's heaps of good options. Like Will, I wouldn't be upset with Will for 500k to be honest. I'd probably rather Will than Cordwell. Will was such a bad trade out. Horrific. Yeah, I think that 40 was just a blip off a 5-day break. He's had 2 5-day breaks as the buy. Cripps is there, I don't know, with Carlton. I mean, could do worse. Heaney should be alright. Yeah, Sydney are bad. It's a problem. Newcomb was good. He's been down the past few weeks. Sheezel would not touch Sheezel. Very worried about this role. Sounds like it's going to be more forward. Having him there, not being able to swap him to like a Whitfield for 40k. That's how it goes. Track's good price. Rankin wouldn't touch at the moment. Just the buy coming up and role uncertainty. Kennedy, I think he had a negative 40 DTSC, so he was fine. Look, there's heaps of options. Steele's been in really good form. Has he been benefiting from no McRae? Maybe. And then Marshall's getting cheap as well. I got a high break even, had the bad one the other week. So there's heaps of options. You just got to figure out which one you want. So, and that's the thing, because there were so many options. Maybe we had a few more options coming up next week. Like if Bont wasn't coming off the buy and the limited options, I wouldn't be going here. Would have loved to just grab Nas for 500k this week, but it's got the buy. So if you don't have Nas, so if you don't have Bont, I think you can actually wait and maybe you can get him for sub 600 now. His break even's 160, which he can hit, but more often than not, he's not going to hit that. So that's that. Anyway, thanks for watching. My VC is Sherry. Again, if you have Sherry, you have no choice. He's against Flynn, who's given up lots. I think he's given up 2 180 plus scores, 2 160 plus as well, and maybe 3 160 plus. I can't remember. And my backup is Nick. I suspect I'm not going to need it, but yeah. So all going well. We'll finish the team. No Whitfield, no Sinclair, no Neil, no Gorn. It's been a tough year, but we'll just try and get through and see how we go. So I don't know if I want Cordwell with Parrish back. I don't know what that means, because they rate Parrish highly. I think it's probably the worst contract in the AFL at the moment for his availability and what he's on and what he does to the CBAs of Cordwell and Durham. How much money did we have if we were doing this? 60k conservatively. That's if like Brock only makes 20k and Lindsay makes like 10k and Butters scores well in a tag game. Could we go elsewhere? But we also need that 60k to upgrade Sheldrick. See, Newcomb was only like 50k more. I had a big break even. I don't know if I want this, especially with his injury history. Could this be suicide going for LDU instead? Is this a bad trade? 500k for LDU. I think last year post-buy was like 110. The West Coast. I mean, the fixture looks good to me. Either dog's tough matchup. I don't think so. I mean, as long as Sheezel's out of the back line, he'll be fine. He'll do probably 90 plus. Oh man, Sam Darcy back. I don't know. I can't do key forwards. Do my head in. This is a one. Juan Francis for. What's he projected again? It's 200s, I think it was. 200s, 440. We don't pass on that. Yeah, the timing's off, like, who you grab now. And the whole Roberts thing's kind of just very annoying. We'll leave it at that. I might play around with this tomorrow, see if we can get someone else other than Caldwell. But at this stage, I think he's probably best at that price. Thanks for watching, and good luck for the round.